This is Dominique, and then this is... Oh, no.
Sounds
But...
good.
What's my question again?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your eyebrows look fine. Okay. What's your name?
My name is Dominique. Do you need my first and last name?
Give whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Okay, yes. My name is Dominique. My friends call me Damo. The kids call me Miss Damo.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 25 years old.
Great. So, who are you on a soul level?
On a soul level, that's a deep question. It's the first question and a deep question. I think I'm figuring that out. I think that's what 25 is for me, like figuring out what that actually is. So for me, I'm somebody who's very passionate. I don't know, but I'm in this battle right now between like using spiritual practices along with like my religious practices. So I'm figuring out who I am as a soul right now. I'm wandering right now. I consider this like a gray period for me. Everything is really gray right now.
Okay. So, tell me about some life events or major happenings that have influenced like the way you think or live your life today.
Well, my mother is from Kentucky, so it's like Midwest, kind of Southern, and my father is from Washington, D.C. So just growing up between a city life and a country life, and then coming back home during the school years to like a suburban kind of area, I was always able to be in like diverse areas. But what was my question again? Life experience, like that's just such a broad question.
I know, but I'm leaving it open for you, right? So you said that you're in a gray area right now, like
yeah.
Sometimes you even know or you don't, right? So why don't you know right now? And what has brought you to this place of not knowing?
So I've recently learned like I'm a person, my anxiety either turns to action or anger. And right now, becoming a professional, if I can't act, it makes me angry, but because I have way too much to lose and I'm in a professional realm, I can't be angry. So just figuring out how to process through things right now. I'm not happy with my job right now. I'm known and continuing to pride myself in being known as somebody who is an urban educator. In the place that I'm at right now, I don't feel like I'm using my purpose and my gift to engage urban youth, and it's kind of frustrating me. And just figuring out that even like age literally is a number. Like that's what I've really found out. There's some people that I'm working with way older than me who I feel like I could look up to, and just realizing that the maturity level is like of a 10-year-old. So it's really great, and I can't just up and move and say, well, I want to go here for my passion. Like I kind of can because I'm still young enough to do so, and I don't have that much responsibility. But just worrying about how I move now will affect me in my future. I'm always somebody who's like 3 months ahead of time. And so because I can't see that far, it's really been frustrating me lately.
So if tomorrow somebody came and said, all right, you hate your job, I'm going to give you the opportunity to do what you need to do to reach the urban youth, like where exactly do you see yourself where you'd be happy?
If someone gave me some seed money, I would definitely make that happen. My ending goal is to be a nonprofit owner. My mission for myself is just to be a safe face and build a safe place for urban youth. So I would ideally love to come up with some type of center and curriculum to go into schools where I'm teaching youth. You get homework help, but you're also paired with a mentor who is geared into the same life path that you want to go to, a professional path that you want to go to. So we're focusing on the present, we're focusing on the future. You're able to get a free meal while you're here. And then at the same time, you leave with some type of trade, whether that's cooking or dance or music, but you're learning something. I would definitely leave and do that. Right now, I am a program manager over a youth advisory council in West Baltimore. So me and my youth, we meet twice a week and talk about issues going on around in the 21217 community. And eventually we'll come up with initiatives or campaigns to kind of alleviate some of those circumstances. which is amazing.
That is amazing.
But at the same time, we're talking about being a youth advisory council and talking about policy and politics in the urban area. And a major, I don't know what I want to call it. A setback for my youth. And even getting on some of these initiatives and getting the tasks done around some of this advocacy work is the lack of education. So, in Baltimore City, they have, books aren't the same. You have high schoolers reading on the 5th grade reading level, and maybe sometimes not even then, maybe even lower. So it's frustrating and kind of hard to do the work when they don't even have the fundamentals. Baltimore City is just... It's an amazing place. I love Baltimore. Looking to move there this year. That's one of my goals at 25 is to buy a house this year. Yes. But I think it's completely unfair because you have so many creative youth there and they are being cheated, out of their own education, which is completely unfair. I grew up here in Columbia, 30-minute difference, but I did not know youth were living like they were living. And that's just kind of frustrating that you have these big wigs who want you to do something major, like, well, they need to be here and be there, and it's like, but they don't even comprehend right now what's there. So I have to sit here and work on reading and writing for a little while before I can bring them to the table. So I'm just kind of like torn between the two.
Love that. Okay, so there are 3 categories. And I know that all of these things in these categories are completely non-related or related depending on who you are. So the first category is love, sex, relationships. The next category is society, culture, and politics. And the next category is spirituality and religion. Which one of those categories is most important to you in your life, and which one is not like least important, but what don't you really dabble with or care about that much?
I feel like a well-rounded person is living, simultaneously through all 3 of those realms. I would say, what was the 2 other points with society? It was political.
Culture and politics, yeah.
So right now, I think I'm in a realm with the culture, the politics, in regards to religion and spirituality. Being that I work for a youth advisory council and I'm in a fellowship right now through Johns Hopkins for neighborhood leaders, it's causing me to be more active in politics, what's going on nationally, statewide, citywide, and just realizing like there's a lot of corruption going on. You see the whole thing going on with Mayor Pugh, the books, the money, understanding the boards, understanding who's involved, like how that works. One thing that I'm learning in my classes is to always follow the money when it comes to politics. So you see the front hand action, we pay attention to that, but the biggest thing is to always follow the money and where those things are going. And it's just really interesting how those systems work. A goal I've set for myself, like, I want to be wealthy. I want generational wealth for my family. Every millionaire should at least have at least 7 streams of income. I got about 3 or 4, and still humping my way up. But it's just interesting to see how you balance all of those things. It's hard to balance a political life, a social life, and still be in tune with your culture and still be in tune with your spiritual self. And you can lose your spiritual self trying to be in tune with everything else. But one thing that I'm learning also is like 3 things we can never waste is our time, money, and energy. So just like you wouldn't give your money to anyone, you shouldn't give your time to anyone, you shouldn't give your energy to anyone. You can make money back, you can never get your time or your energy back. So I'm just learning how to be well-grounded in between all 3 of those realms, so I could just be this excellent person.
So since you tied in society, culture, politics, and like with your spirituality, so the love, sex, and relationships thing is the last thing.
It's not as prevalent right now because I'm happy. I'm in a relationship, almost been for about 3 years. So we went through a rough patch this summer, but like things are easy now. So like as I'm struggling with the other 2 realms, I can lean on, love in my relationship to like keep me grounded and have somebody to converse these things with. I guess a tricky part, and it's not on the forefront of me because I'm unhappy in other areas and I'm happy in my relationship, but because I am in a relationship with a woman, at times it can raise issues in certain situations where, in certain depending on where I am. So some people know that I'm in a relationship with a woman. Some people don't. So sometimes I battle with that, but because it's not too great, life over there isn't too crazy right now, I can focus on other realms of my life.
So what advice do you have for someone who is scared to kind of delve into politics? And for someone who wants to get involved and wants to make a change and they're like, this is too much, I don't even know where to start. Like, what would you tell them? Like,
Agreed.
especially a young person in our generation.
So like you said, that's not me. Like, we grew up around the same thing. Like,
Right.
you know, we're not paying attention to politics. It's like, we live in Howard County. I'm fine. Like,
Right.
what do you mean? Like, they'll figure it out. That'll never happen here. But like, but that's, you know, on the other end, that's very ignorant. And we have to be aware. And so that's one thing I realized when I started this job back in August. And I asked me, like, you know, what do I do to be more political savvy? Like, my colleague, he's a political science major. I'm like, I call him my work husband. I'm like, what do I need to do so I can keep myself abreast on what's going on? So just reading every day. Reading is key. Turn the news on. And not just CNN, your local news so you understand what's going on. If you don't know something, write it down, Google it. I'll be in the middle of a big conversation. Somebody drops a big word, I'm pulling my phone out, I'm Googling. Like,
Right, I do that.
Oh, okay, that's that. And I'm jumping back in the conversation. Don't be intimidated. If you're at the table, you're at the table for a reason. And that's one thing that I had to remind myself, or am constantly reminding myself, not to be quiet. I was placed at this table with these people who I may think are bigger than me for a reason, because I have something to add to that conversation. And, you know, birds of a feather flock together. It may not be true in all circumstances, but when you are in realms where other professional people believe that you're there for a reason, so add into that conversation. Everyone is not as smart as we think they are. Like, that's one thing I'm realizing too in this professional world. It's a lot of good BSers.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
It's some people who know what they're talking about, but even if you don't know, read. Active listening is key. Nod your head, smile, yeah, you know. But then just make sure you go back and do the research on that so you will be in the know the next time you come around. And literally, there's been times where I didn't know something, engaged in the conversation, pulled myself out, researched on it, and maybe like a day later somebody else would be talking about it, and I'm able to add into the conversation and actively participate. And like, you start to feel good about yourself, like, wow, I did that.
Okay, so as far as the love thing goes, so y'all are out of your rough patch, but you also said that some people don't know that you're in a relationship with a woman. So I'm guessing that you're comfortable with people knowing, considering your own video saying it. But what, I guess, advice would you have for people who aren't comfortable with everybody knowing yet, or where they stand in their sexuality, or people who are confused? Because, you know, you dated men and you dated women, so just, I guess, say something for someone who doesn't really know what the fuck's happening.
So for me,
I mean, that's, you know.
I don't know what the fuck is happening either.
Right.
So, like, you know, I'm going with the flow. But at the same time, I'm realizing, like, it's, you know, judgmental we may think our family may be. There are some members of your family who will be understanding. For me, like, my grandmother doesn't know and stuff like that. That's a step that I'm nervous to say. My grandmother is from my grandmother is from Kentucky, y'all. That ain't flying down there. But, you know, eventually, if this is a relationship that leads to marriage, that I am going to have that conversation. But just, you know, do what makes you happy. Like, as you get older, you'll start to resent people if you keep living for other people. You have to do for yourself. Even if it's a trial run, like, you know, you may not even think you fully like girls. Like, I am not a lesbian. I find I'm attracted to both sexes. I love people more so for what's inside rather than what's on your outside. But not completely. What is it, pain? I'm not pain.
Pansexual,
yeah, we got limits to certain things, but, you know, to each his own. Love is a beautiful thing. Don't limit yourself. I think you will have more resentment or more hate in your heart for not going out and trying, or living with so many what ifs if you don't go out there and follow your heart. We're living in a society where same-sex relationships are becoming more and more common. Even in the church.
Right,
like, the church. Like, you know, that's the one place you'd be, like, judgmental. Me and my girlfriend, we go and we sit right in church. We go to church with my mom. We sit right in church, enjoy service, and go and, you know, literally go to eat next, you know. So just follow your heart. I understand it can be very, very nerve-wracking, but get you a group of supportive friends. Like, there's no one that ever been like, I don't think you should be dating, girl. Like, what do you think, what do you think God's going to say? Or what is this person going to say? Like, if anything, I can call and just be like, follow your heart or do whatever. Like, I've called Alana before. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I know, like, I'm not gay, but... But like, you have moments where you need to figure it out, but like, at least live through it. I'm a type of person like, I'm a Sagittarius. I'm always for an adventure. I'm very optimistic. So for me, you just gotta try it and follow your heart. Forget what anyone has to say. If they're judging you, that's not a good friend. That's not somebody you want on your side anyway. Period.
Okay, so I'm gonna get you to draw something. I told you I was gonna do this. So, okay, there we go. Okay, so what color do you feel represents your mood right now? It doesn't have to be in that box, because when you draw, you don't have to use the color that you think, but...
Pink is always a mood, honey.
Okay. Do you know why pink?
This is a vibrant pink, so these lights is popping. You're interviewing me, so I'm the type of person, like... I'll get into character. My girlfriend always be like you're acting right now. I'm like, life is fun. Like, you need to get in tune. Like, this is what we're doing. Come on. So this is like, I'm excited right now. I'm forgetting about everything that's happening outside on the outside world. So like, I'm blinded. I'm happy. This is a happy color for me.
Yay. Okay, so I mean, the next question was like, what color do you feel represents your life? So I'm guessing. I mean, I don't want to guess that.
My life right now.
Your life in general. Which is hard, because we've all had our time.
This is my life.
Or your life right now, if you want to pick like and you could pick a couple. I'm not going to limit you.
So my life in general, I will give green, because I'm always growing. I'm always growing, like a plant. So harvest. Plant your seed. I always talk about planting seed. But my life right now is like,
oh
gray.
my God,
you get darker. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the hell is going on right now. But I feel like this gray is because something big is really getting ready to come, and God is like putting all these worst if kind of circumstances around me, so when I do receive whatever this is that is big, that I'm prepared for it. So I'm just waiting on that blessing to come. But this gray is like really uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm a black and white person all day. I don't like. But
she take vibrant pink.
Okay. This is bright. This means action. You see this, right. Like, it catches your attention. I'm very direct. I'm never in shadows.
What facial expression, and do you want to keep that so you can draw? Because now you're going to be drawing for the rest of the time.
Okay. But I like this. This one, okay. So, this one too. If I really could have seen, I would have picked this one.
Okay. So, a facial expression that explains you. Do it.
Do it or draw it?
No, do the facial expression.
Everybody knows the eyebrow goes up. This is the happy moments. You might get a flirt out of this, but like, if you really see this eyebrow, it's like, really.
I feel like, okay. So, what makes you most upset? You should draw. It's hard though, because at the end you want to show everybody what you made. You gotta have something.
I need to draw my fleeky eyebrow. What makes me upset? The fact that people are like judgmental. Like, we never take the time to really get to know people. We assume. So I had to do an activity where pictures, I was reading this book called Everyday Bias by Howard Ross, and he actually came to one of my sessions and spoke to us about like our everyday bias, and we had open conversations. So one of the activities were, he posted like 7 slides of different looking people. So you had like this Hispanic guy, large, like typical guy that you would think worked in like an auto mechanic shop. They had like a little Indian woman. They had a guy like who looked sweet like Gandhi. They had like a pageant girl, like a white girl, but she was like kind of sitting like this. And we had to give our initial, like it was on a scale of like 1 to 7. So like our initial feeling of warmth to them, and then a score on how we felt they were, like, I don't know, educationally or something like that. But literally, we were giving people low scores who have multi-million-dollar businesses, who are, you know, in the Hispanic guy I spoke of, he's in very high in politics, doing a lot for the California region. So just the fact that we're judgmental, I can be judgmental at times. So, like, not to point fingers at anybody, but just that, and just the fact that everyone doesn't get the same experience. Like, this is America, land of the free. You know, everybody wants to come to America. But to me, I just feel like this is a very selfish land, a very ignorant land. This land was built on the backs of slaves. Like, you know, it's just like,
Seriously.
you know, yeah, that's not me. That's not me. I like unity.
Okay. So what's your biggest pet peeve?
I hate a liar. I hate a bullshitter. A lot of emotions. Okay, that's another one for me. So I'm in therapy. Started therapy. Therapy is good.
Therapy is good.
But my therapist spoke about how I feel about weakness. She thinks that, well, I have a thing. She doesn't think. I guess I can relate to it too. Towards weakness. I don't allow people to, like, kind of sit in that for a long time. I'm like, okay, that happened. Okay, but what's next? Like, we have to move on. Like, what do you want to do to fix that? So maybe, I guess I have a thing with weakness. Like, I don't want to see people down too long. Like, I don't want people to be oppressed. Like, life is already depressing. If you're African American, especially a female, you know, you're already oppressed as a being. Like, I don't want us to be in that. I want us to rise up over that. So, like, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with weakness as well.
Okay. Good answers. What are you most afraid of?
Dying and not leaving any type of legacy, or making any type of impact. I guess recently too, I am afraid. I guess I'm afraid of being alone as well.
What is your favorite song right now?
Someone asked me that the other day. I'm going for Act Up City Psych now. Middle Child by J. Cole.
Okay, so sing or rap a part of it for people who've never heard the song.
I'm dead in the middle with 2 generations. That's all I got for you. Sorry.
Oh my god.
But the song just really talks about, I feel like I interpret it like that gray area right now. He's at tables. He's seeing certain things. He's seeing certain people moving. He's not really saying too much right now, but he's making a list. He's writing down names. You know, he said he loading the clip. Like, I'm not,
You're not loading
I'm
the
not
clip.
ready to go kill people, but I am, like, you know, I'm working. You know, I got stuff going on. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I'm preparing for my spring line and my clothing line. I'm, you know, making a curriculum for something that I could use in my, you know, in my youth development field. So, like, I'm listening. I'm at these tables with people. They may not know me right now. They may not know who I am. I'm in the room. They may not know why I'm in the room. Don't worry about it. I know your name. And once I get everything together, I'll know who to come talk to. I'm coming to kill this team. Like, so I'm quiet right now. The area is really, really gray. But once I start getting some answers from the man upstairs, it's going to be, full color, and it's going to be crazy, and people going to need to watch out. Definitely going to need to watch out.
You heard it here first.
And
Let me see what you drew. All right, cool. Now explain it.
so this is the eyebrow. You know, I like to think I got some nice eyebrows. I wrote down my little slogan, safe face, safe place. This picture is like of youth or of people, but overall just the image of unity. I put middle child down here, so like the song J. Cole. Then I put rest in peace, Dad, because that's some of the ammunition that pushes me to do whatever I do every day. Just knowing, like, I'm living here for his legacy. No matter who I'm close with on his side of the family, that's another piece of me. But yeah, like, everything, half of me is him, and so, like, I'm just moving for him and his spirit. But yeah, hello doodles.
Beautiful.
This is Dominique, and this has been a look into the life of my flesh. Thank you, Lon.
Thank you.